Seymour shoots his shot. A wild time-traveling tale of a cool crackhead. Seymour Jenkins was the definition of cool, even if he was about 62, missing some teeth, and perpetually dusty. An old black man with an attitude smoother than a jazz bass line. He floated around Fremont Street like he owned it, even though he technically squatted behind an abandoned gas station. People called him all kinds of names. Cool Pop, Uncle Seymour, Sir Smokes-a-Lot, but mostly they just called him Unc when the dice started flying. Now Seymour, he had his vices. He'd tell you that himself. He loved a cold 40, a scratch-off from the gas station, and yes, a little bit of that glass rocket fuel when the mood hit him right. But today he was high on luck. It was a hot Tuesday morning. Seymour was finishing a cold 40 and arguing with a pigeon when chaos broke out in front of the liquor store. A crazy man in a trench coat, wild-eyed and foaming at the mouth, was being chased by 2 cops. "I'm not from this dimension," the man screamed, throwing empty chip bags and yelling about wormholes. As the cops wrestled him to the ground, something fell from his pocket and bounced over to Seymour's feet. 2 old-looking, purple-colored dice. They had strange markings burned into the corners and smelled faintly of Vicks VapoRub. "Loca like some jailhouse voodoo dice," Seymour muttered. The crazy man screamed one last time, looking at Seymour. "For 7s and an 8. That's the code, that's the key." Then he was gone, tossed into the back of a cruiser, kicking and cursing about space frogs. Seymour picked up the dice. "Well, hell. I ain't got nothing else going on, let's give these bad boys a shot. Come on, you smart-ass pigeon." Later that day, Seymour was holding court in the back alley, as usual. Peanut, Bugsy, the pigeon and 2 dudes that may or may not have been twins were all gathered around. Seymour had been hot all evening. Money was piling up in his busted shoebox. Every time he rolled, those strange dice felt warm in his palm. "Let it ride, Unc," yelled Peanut. Seymour grinned. Y'all know what happens when Seymour hits a 7. Clack clack, 7. Ears. He rolled again. Clack clack, 7. And again clack clack, 7. Bugsy started sweating. "Ah, hell nah, man." Clack clack, 7. The air shimmered a little and trash started to stir in the wind, but nobody noticed. Seymour shook the dice one more time and tossed them. Suddenly everything got real quiet. Even the wind stopped. Seymour blinked. "Oh, shit," he mumbled. The dice rolled clack 4. The other flipped once more, clack 4. Seymour's eyes grew wide. "Well, that's 8. He looked around without moving. "What now?" Then came the bang. Like thunder exploding inside a steel drum. The world twisted like a slingshot. Seymour saw stars, a coyote in a top hat, and a hot dog winking at him, and then dirt, screaming, gunfire, arrows. Seymour rolled over onto cracked earth. His slippers now half melted. The alley was gone. The city was gone. "Where the hell am I?" He looked up. 2 cowboys galloped by, shooting behind them. Behind them were a group of native warriors with war paint and bows. Seymour sat up fast, clutching his dice and shoebox. "Oh Lord, I done rolled myself into a damn western." Quickly reaching in his pocket and saying, "Okay, who's got it? Who took my damn?" Seymour, interrupted by gunfire, scrambled behind a rock, barely dodging a tomahawk. He peeked out and saw a teenage native boy crouching behind another rock. "You not from here," the boy said, lowering his bow. "You got that right. I'm from the future, baby. Seymour Jenkins. Las Vegas born, backyard raised." The boy squinted. "You magic." Seymour thought about it. Looked at his dice in hand. "Something like that." The boy nodded. "Then you are the traveler. The dice prophet." Seymour blinked. "Man, what the hell?" "Let us win this battle," the boy said, "and I'll take you to my people and show you to the medicine woman. She knows the magic. There are stories of you." Seymour looked down at his dice. "Well, I'd bet. Let's roll." For 3 wild days, Seymour ran around the desert like a cracked-out war general. He taught the tribe how to shoot craps and blackjack. He told them stories about Fremont Street while they shared the native herb. He showed them how to dress fresh to impress. He even helped shape a new style of moccasins that looked oddly like Jordans, and they drank with him some native spirits that he compared to a bottle of Old English. But every night he tried the dice. 4 sevens and an 8. Sometimes he got close. Sometimes the dice got hot and glowed. The medicine woman noticed his frustration and told him, "The magic here works, but it works best if you're on sacred ground." Seymour waited, and one orange morning as the sun kissed the canyon, he stood on a sacred hilltop and shouted, "Come on, baby. Take me home. Clack, clack, 7. Clack, clack, 7. Clack, clack, 7. Clack, clack, 7. Come on, baby, come on." Clack, clacked. A rip in the sky opened, light flashing. Seymour was lifted off the ground, shoebox and all, as the native boy watched from a distance, smiling. Seymour hit the pavement in the alley like a sack of wet laundry. The same crumbling wall. The same crowd and pigeons staring. Dice still warm. Peanuts still hollering. "Unk, unk. Damn unk. You good." "You blanked out for a second, man, we thought you was dead." Seymour looked around, dazed, checking himself for injuries. He opened his shoebox. Mixed in with the money were feathers, ancient beads, and a gold war medallion and a note that said, "To the cool one, you are magic." Seymour smiled, sat back, and whispered to himself, "Man, I gotta stop smoking that shit." And then he kissed the dice and said, "Now who wanna lose they money?" Bugsy chuckled and said, "Oh, unk, it's like that." Peanut pointed at Seymour's shoes. "Oh snap, unk, where did you get them J's from? Is that buckskin?" Seymour grinned, dice glowing in hand. "Hell yeah, and that's right, hand-woven. And you wanna know something else? Don't ever bet against Seymour Jenkins, baby. Time ain't even ready for me." He shook the dice and tossed them across the pavement. Clack, clack, 7. And so, our hero Seymour Jenkins, cool crackhead, dice-rolling time traveler, and occasional thief, returned safely to his alley, slightly singed, slightly bruised, but somehow richer in both soul and shoebox. He'd battled cowboys, teamed up with warriors, and probably violated several rules of space-time. But hey, who's keeping score? Was it all real? A dream? A side effect of discount crack rocks? Narrator shrugs. Who knows? Just remember, kids, don't do drugs.